Hey guys, can I tell you something? Listen, new glasses, by the way. The only reason I really, really want to go on a brand trip, obviously going on brand trips sounds like a lot of fun. I've never been invited on one. I wouldn't really know. So maybe it's a lot of work. I don't know. The only reason I would ever want to go specifically is because I would like to, for once in my life, go on vacation and have people take pictures of me. You know what I mean? I'd like to once in my entire life go on a vacation and not have to debase and demoralize myself, both knees scraping on the ground, asking, begging, pleading someone to take a picture of me, please, 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 you know? And I think people take advantage. They know I'm trying to vlog. I'm doing content. My camera's already out. I'm gonna get candids for you. I'm gonna get B-roll for you. Like, I'm gonna get you stuff for your IG story. I'm gonna get you stuff for the grid even. That's what I want for you. But they don't reflect back to me what I'm trying to offer. I would like to, for once, I want to feel appreciated. I would like to, for once, go somewhere and have someone take a picture of me because they think that I would appreciate it. And you know what's crazy that y'all know it's my job. Y'all know we're going on vacation. You know it. You know that it's going to literally benefit me and you. Why would you not take a picture of me? Why would I have to beg you? Why would I have to beg you for that? Do you think that feels good for me? This is mortifying. Every 5 minutes, can you take this picture of me? You see us doing excursions. Why would you not even think one time he would maybe want to capture? That's all I think about for you. That's all I think about for you. I would like to go somewhere one time, even if it's contractually obligated, where someone would at least think to take a picture of me. I'm an adult. Let me calm down. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to 10 at a Time, the short long form show. I'm your host, Woodland Pierreville. I don't even know what that was. That wasn't the show. That was maybe the intro. Y'all, I got a lot of big bites today. So we gotta get straight into it. I'm definitely gonna smash that 20. You already know I'm gonna smash that 20 because do you know what this week was? It was the Benito Bowl. It was the Bad Bunny Bowl. And look, not even too much on the Super Bowl and but that's gonna be the first 10. That's gonna be the first 20, maybe 30 even. After that, I want to talk about another woo-woo spiritual thing. I know that I always hit you with like this woo-woo spirituality bullshit. I know. You didn't want to hear it from me. I sound like a goddamn motivational speaker. I sound like a Gary Vee variant or something like that. I'm sorry. The last thing that I want to talk to you about is Traders, dog. If you just watched the last episode of Traders, by the time this comes out, there will be another episode of Traders that's out. But I'm talking about episode 8. As you know, on my secondary TikTok account, I'm doing episode by episode breakdowns of each Traders thing that comes out. And it's been a lot of fun, but people have been fighting over Candace and Rob, and I wanna get into it. But first and foremost, how are you? How are you? This isn't all about me. I'm gonna listen. I appreciate you being here. It's gonna be like 50 minutes of me. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. Doing this by yourself is really hard. Doing like the podcast by yourself because I want to like stay grounded and factual, and also I don't want to be like super crazy, but it actually, I'm not complaining. It's an observation. It takes so much more energy, I think, to like keep the ball in the air when I'm by myself and like keep it flowing as though I'm having a type of conversation, when in actuality this is just a stream of consciousness of myself. And by myself. I shout out to people who do this on a regular basis alone. It would also probably help if this was a scripted podcast, but it's kind of not. I just have a few notes that I take. Anyway, do you guys like my glasses? I posted on my Instagram story and I was like, y'all fuck with my glasses? Trick question, because if you don't like them, you're tasteless and bland and uninspired. But then someone was like, yeah, they're giving baby girl. And, I wanted them to give like tasteful chic, like studied man. You know what I mean? I wanted them to feel like, oh, where's he going to be for Fashion Week? You know what I mean? I wanted them to feel like, oh, I bet he has a beautiful home. Maybe they're also baby girl. Confirm or deny down below. I mean, I can't be offended either way. There are parts of me that are incredibly baby girl. Anyway, let's move on from this. The first 10, go ahead and smash that. Go ahead and go. Let's get started on the first 10. First things first. Canada! Ontario! Toronto! Quebec! Canadá, ya tú sabes, la país primero, mejor, latino, Canadá. Shout out to Bad Bunny Benito, including Canada as one of his many Latin American countries. Hey, shout out to you. Actually, let me actually cross-reference. Oh, he might have just named every country in America. Like he might have just named all of North and South America. Is that what he did? Never mind. All that to say, you guys, the Bad Bunny Bowl, you don't understand. This shit means something to me, man. You don't even understand. This entire week, I find out that Max and Ruby, like the fucking bunny cartoon, Max and Ruby, Ruby and Max. Do you guys remember that show? They've been posting on their official TikTok account like all week about the Bad Bunny Superbowl. And like since it's come out, they've had Max and Ruby, the little cartoons, superimposed into videos and into pictures of the Bunny Bowl. It's like Ruby on stage in La Casita at the Super Bowl. And I think it's so funny because they're British, but also maybe they're canonically Latina and Latino. I don't know. I think it's so fun. Like they literally in the little section where they have Tonita, during the Bunny Bowl, they literally have Max and Ruby's grandma, their abuela, dare I say, in there with Tonita. Wow. I mean, what a great activation of culture, man. Who would have thought? Because it was really only a couple of years ago. I think I was on Twitter, and for the first time, I heard someone go straight from a British accent into speaking Spanish in a Colombian way. And I was like, oh, I never even imagined somebody from South America. I never, obviously people from South America, Colombians, Cubans, Dominicans, like obviously people migrate everywhere, but I never even really fully processed that just like I'm in Florida and everybody code switches into Spanish like nothing, that like the people might be in Brixton. Is that a place in the UK? I think so. That people might be at Notting Hill code switching back and forth from their Ecuadorian Espanol into their British dialect. That's crazy to me. Shout out Max and Ruby. I loved that show. Anyway, wait guys, no, we're already running out of time. I've already wasted so much time on all of this bullshit. Hold on. I just want to do a rapid fire play-by-play of what it was like to watch the Bad Bunny Bowl, okay? Firstly, that man in the beginning with the guitar out in the sugarcane fields. Que rico se latino. Wow. And we're fucking off, bro. And we're off. How sweet how delicious to be Latino. How wonderful to be Latino. Amen, brother. Amen. Drone shot over the sugarcane field, over the sugarcane plantation. And immediately, bro, it struck a fucking chord with me. This shit means something to me, man. I finished reading a while ago, the Black Jacobins. It's a survey of like the history of the of the Haitian Revolution and Toussaint Louverture and like all of the, you know what I mean? And how Haiti won its freedom and independence. And also me knowing about the history of Haiti and the Dominican Republic and also all of the Caribbean, how sugarcane as a cash crop is at the center of all of that history. Sugarcane is the cotton. Like whatever cotton is to American slavery, sugarcane is to like the Caribbean slave system and indentured servitude system. You know what I mean? Sugarcane everywhere. So for this nigga, immediately, I'm like, oh, he's taking it. You know what I'm saying? A drone shot over the fucking sugarcane field, people in the fields with their machetes, like fucking chopping the shit up. Immediately, it takes me somewhere. I said, oh, this is dead. Like he's dead ass. Like he's going to send it. I was like, where did we go? Is this the field? No, we transitioned into the field, into the football field, into the football stadium. We're still in the sugarcane plantation. Bad Bunny in an all white suit. Nigga, this is it immediately. Like, you guys, sorry, I'm going to try not to freak out during this, and I can't even stress it enough. I've already said it like 2-3 times. No funny shit. This means come here, come close. This means something to me, man. Titi me pregunta. Wow. We're walking through the fucking sugarcane Everybody's bad as shit. We got goddamn fucking kiosk. We got piragua. We got gold vendors. We got boxers. We got this wedding ring. Mind you, I had to go back because I was like, is the wedding ring that he handed the same one? Is that the same couple that got married later? There's a marriage on stage. You get me? Dominoes slapped on the table. It's black people, white people, indigenous looking people, you know what I mean? Mestizo people, goddamn Asian looking people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's here. Que rico ese Latino. Wow. Dude, it was fucking sexy. But I'll say this, right? Right at the top, okay, so walking through the sugarcane, I'm like, oh, this imagery is evocative. It's rich. It's historical. Then we get to the place where we're at La Casita. Why is Alex Earl here? You're throwing me off. You're throwing me off. You're throwing me off. Jessica Alba is Latina today? I guess so. I didn't even know that she was claiming Latina like that until very recently, honestly. I didn't know that that was what she was on. Cool. It's a bunch of people. Everybody Latino and Alex Earl. I don't get that. That's fine. Okay, cool. While Bad Bunny was on the top of the Casita house, which I think I've heard is like that was part of his residency when he was in Puerto Rico. I didn't go. My girlfriend went. She almost didn't come back. And that's why me and Bad Bunny have beef, but also I have to give him grace and forgive him because he could have kept her there and he chose to release her against her own will. She didn't want to come back to me. She wanted to live a life out there. And so while I resent him, I also have to, show an appreciation for the grace that it took to do that. Because if it was me, I wouldn't have let it go. Anyway, while he was on top of the stage at Casita, on top of the roof, like on the Casita, and the girls were all dancing, and they're like 5 rows deep of women dancing in synchronization, throwing it. You have to understand, dude, I don't even like Miami, but I was watching this shit, and I was like, damn, I got to get to Miami as quickly as motherfucking possible. And I live in New York. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to go to the club and find a particular vibe, I could go and find that vibe, but it wouldn't even I need something more, something deeper. I'm not sure what the full ethics are of me visiting Puerto Rico. There's a lot of complex politics about the tourist system out there, but Miami's my home turf, and I fucking hate Miami, and I'm like itching for it. You know what I mean? I'm like, where's the closest thing where I need a fix? That part where he was at La Casita, he was losing me because I was like, is this what it's going to be the whole time? That first like 1/4 of the Super Bowl performance where he's on top of the roof, I wasn't necessarily feeling it because I was like, this is a male pop star. This could go one of two ways. I mean, he really might double down and just give us this. And as much as I'm like, I just need more than that. I just need more than you being on top of the roof and the girls dancing below you and like a couple of celebrity cameos. And he shut me the fuck up right then and there. He's on the roof. The camera pans to the crowd. It pans back to him, behind him. There were girls on the roof with him. And suddenly they're gone. I don't know where they went. Right. And I'm like, fuck is going on? Boom. He falls through the roof. Cinematic transition. Oh my God. He's like, where am I? He goes outside, front and center, hit it, perreo. Falling through the roof into Gasolina, and that section of the Gasolina, every single person on the screen. Matter of fact, where's everybody from? And I know, like literally dead ass, rep your set, put a flag on. Where's everybody from type shit. This is for honor. This is for pride. Everybody dark skin. I'm like, you Haitian, right? You Haitian, right? And you look good. Yeah, you look good. You look good, Sherry Doudou. You look good. You look good, Papi. Listen, falling through the roof into Gasolina, into the neck pop. You know what I'm saying? That shit hurt. I might want to hurt myself the way they were popping their necks like that. It was too much. And I felt it rise within me. Then the gays are here. We get 2 niggas grinding on each other. This flashing in the back on the back billboard. Perreo, perreo, perreo. I'm alive. Dude, I've never seen some shit like this in my life. Bro, it was crazy. And then suddenly, man, the camera pans. Lady Gaga's here. That was cool. It was fucking rare. So I'm like, how long was this in the paperwork? I guess he's a fan of Lady Gaga. I don't necessarily even like that song. If the world was ending, I'd want to be next. It is, like, on paper, I understand why it's a good song, and on paper, I understand why people like it. I understand why it's the top of the charts, but it's a little too on paper for me. I'm like, I don't even mean formulaic in like a derogatory, like diminishing way, but like formulaically, it is gonna be a hit. I get that. I don't like the song though because it's a little too that way. You know what I mean? Someone wrote this because they had bills to pay, not in the way that I like though. Not in the way that I like, in like a trapped in a Vegas residency kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so if the world was ending, Lady Gaga is doing a little, doing like a, and you know what? That's why the white girls just put their hands up like this. Cause Lady Gaga, don't even worry about it, babe. Just put your hands out. Just do like the white girls do. Come on. Huh? Or give us the give us another set of arms. It was cute. We had fun. She was so enthusiastic and she sounded great. And the arrangement was very cool. I liked the arrangement. But transitioning into a wedding, and I'm like, is this wedding real? I find out the wedding is real. Those people really got married at the Bad Bunny Superbowl. Imagine you were supposed to be a guest at their wedding. You already RSVP'd. You already paid for the tux type shit. Like, you were supposed to be the best man and give a speech. And then like a couple months before the wedding happens, destination, you booked every flight, hotel type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like you flew Abuela in from whatever, from Ecuador, whatever. And then a couple months before, they're like, hi, sorry, amiga, cheetah, friend for life. So I'm gonna be in San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like, don't piss me off unless I can come too. And then we're good. No, shout out to that couple. At this point, I realize I'm starting to get emotional. It's happening right now. Let me retain my focus. They kiss and they big celebration. They pan the camera. It's a little boy sleeping on the chair. That's me, bro. This shit means something to me, man. You don't even fucking understand, bro. Little boy sleeping on the chair. I'm not gonna lie. That shit, little boy sleeping on the chair, punched me in the chest. Boom. Hard. I said, I had to stand at attention. The man falls off the roof. He does an Assassin's Creed leap of faith, both arms out. They catch him. We start to go motherfucking crazy. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Ricky Martin is there. That means nothing to me personally, but I understand that Ricky Martin, to some people, that nigga's Justin Bieber. So I'm like, wow, imagine Latino Justin Bieber pops out and you haven't seen that nigga in years. And he's singing the veins out of his neck. You know what I mean? OG One Direction style, veins out of his neck. Screenshot it. It's on Tumblr type shit. You get me? And then we transition to the electric grid. And guys, it just gets deeper and deeper. Last time I was in Puerto Rico, I met a mutual of mine who's now a friend of mine. Her name is Bianca Graula. She is an independent journalist living in Puerto Rico and like doing pro social good journalism all over Latin America and in particular in Puerto Rico. And I've been following her coverage of like the gentrification through people who are like pursuing homes and whatever residences in Puerto Rico, buying up the public lands in Puerto Rico, buying up beach space, which is like supposed to be illegal, taking land and resources that were meant for the people of the island and like turning them into profitable enterprises and not redistributing that wealth because it's a tax haven for them. I've been following her coverage of that, of people like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, and of the electricity crisis that is in Puerto Rico. I'm talking to her as in a voice message and she's like, yeah, there was no power yesterday or whatever, because of the lack of infrastructure, the neglect from the US that is supposed to be like, doing what's best for this territory, this occupational territory of theirs, Free Puerto Rico. And, post Hurricane Maria, the like terrible handling by FEMA. Anyway, I'm not the best person to articulate these things. I understand them, but I couldn't teach you about them. If you want to learn more about like the present state of things in Puerto Rico, Bianca Graula actually was, I think, Bianca was she was in a Bad Bunny music. I forget which music video she was in. This was like 2 years ago. She was in Bad Bunny's music video a couple of years ago or something like that. She collaborated with him in some way because, I mean, clearly they have like aligned work and aligned purposes, right? This like really cool anti-imperial, anti-colonial sentiment that exists at the center of their work, their resistance art. Really awesome people. But seeing that even incorporated, like that very contemporary struggle incorporated into this performance, I just can't speak enough to. I saw someone who was like, yeah, I wish, Bad Bunny gave us more of a performance instead of like people just standing around him dancing and him standing in the center. And I was like, honestly, fuck you, girl. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck you. Like, you would never get it. I wouldn't expect you to get it. It's like, fuck you. Don't speak on it. You know what I mean? Like, from head to toe, I just think there was so much intentionality and thought. And I mean, for me, like last Super Bowl, as much as I love Kendrick Lamar, there was so much other fanfare around Kendrick Lamar and his performance at the Super Bowl that I really fucking hated, particularly as a fan of his. I could not stand that. Sorry, God, stop the clock. I could not stand that Drake suddenly became a main character in what should be one of the biggest moments of Kendrick Lamar's career. Like, that really got on my fucking nerves, that I'm like, can we get some more Good Kid Mad City? Can we get some more of like, what made me fall in love with you as an artist? And instead we're spending so much time with you taunting Drake and edging him. That was fucking annoying. I'm like, you're here telling a large story about like a very difficult part of the Black American experience, and also you're like tickling Drake's balls. Like, I'm over it. I thought that the focus and the clarity of the intention here was so beautifully executed from head to toe with Bad Bunny. It really, this shit means something to me, man. And like, to see the parade of flags come through and to see so many people reacting, dang it. Oh my, I don't want to, dude, I cried last episode. What the fuck? I'm not gonna lie, guys. I actually cry a lot. I low-key I cry all the time. And honestly, I don't even be crying at like real life shit. Like, I be crying about the TV. Like, I cry about anime. You know what I mean? Like, But I'm not trying to freak out. But to see the parade of flags and to see the people online who come from countries that, they just like, people just want to feel seen and they want to feel like their identity matters, that where they come from isn't like an invisible place, a forgotten place on the map. I think about like where my dad comes from. Sometimes I go on Google Maps and I'll go to like random places in Haiti on Google Maps, and I'll try to see pictures of where I come from. Sorry. And there's not a lot there, There's not like a lot for me to get a sense of like where my dad grew up, the things that he passed on his way to school, or where his school was. There's not a lot for me to go off to feel like I'm connected to a home like that. And to see people online who are so excited to hear the name of the place they come from that maybe they can't go back to, and to feel like it's so deep. It's really, really so deep. And yeah, I just think I'm losing my words now, but I just think it's so powerful what he did. And it seems really simple, and maybe it didn't have all of the spectacle, and maybe it didn't have all of the like, the bloods, the sweat, the physical sweat of like seeing a man do a backflip. I don't know what you want to see Bad Bunny do. I don't know. But I just thought it was so powerful and in little and big ways, you know what I mean? Literally calling out the names of every nation that needs to be heard and seen right now. And also the little things of like having all the men wear guayaberas, you know what I mean? Like a very culturally significant shirt, like the shirt of laborers, of a labor movement, people in the fields doing work. I can go to my dad's closet and grab a bunch of those shirts because he collects them. He has some there too. You know what I mean? Like those little tiny details of universality across an experience that is under attack right now. I just think it's so meaningful. And dude, I'm not even like big, like I wasn't even big Bad Bunny. Like I speak a little bit of Spanish. I'm not fluent enough in Spanish to really engage fully in what he's doing. I like the beats. I like the flow. I think it's cool. I love the party music. Bad Bunny comes on at the party. Everybody gets lit. I like the effect. But I'm bought, man. Like I'm bought in, you know. I really think the dude is goated. And after he won the Grammy, I just thought it was so crazy because you see this man who's doing this revolutionary, trailblazing, important work. And also the night that he won a Grammy, I know Kendall Jenner was like, ugh, my ex just won a Grammy. Can you imagine? The day Bad Bunny wins a Grammy and Kendall Jenner gets to comment about it. And who did that? He did that. He did that. All right. Look. We won it. We'll drop it. We'll drop it. That was crazy though, Benito. That was crazy. I'm just kidding. I would do it too. You know, we all have our phases. Anyway, oise baby. Listen, two quick things. One, shout out to Tonita, who is the real owner operator. When he came down after the wedding and did the Assassin's Creed Leap of Faith into New York, right? Whatever the New York portion of the, you know, si tú quieres divertir, Nueva York, the Nueva York portion of the show. And he goes to the booth and there's an old woman inside. That's Tonita. She's literally the real owner operator of a very historical social club. And like social clubs are like, you know, y'all keep talking about third spaces, like social clubs, right? She's the real owner operator of a social club in Brooklyn that's been here for years, and like she refuses to sell and refuses to leave and like holds this place. And he was here in last time he was here in New York, he went and visited, and that was like a huge thing that like, oh, Bad Bunny's in New York, he's at Tonita's. Okay. The other thing is there was that little boy that he handed the Grammy to, and everybody was like, oh, that's Liam or whatever. Everyone kept saying that was the boy that got abducted by ICE, the 5-year-old boy that got abducted by ICE as bait for his dad. And it was actually just like a randomly cast little boy who was supposed to be young Bad Bunny. Dead ass. Someone in the room where I was watching said that. They were like, oh yeah, that's the little boy that got abducted, that got detained. And I was like, what? That's racist. That's clearly not that little boy. That's racist. Why would you think that little boy's family would get him released from detention and then immediately like shuttle him to the Bay to be in the Super Bowl? Like, no, get back in the fucking house. Stay. You're not going anywhere because I love you. But like, no, you can't go to the Super Bowl. You're 5 years old. I don't know, maybe it would be possible and maybe that would feel good, but that's not what the story is. And I actually think that boy is still in danger. Like, I actually think that he's in a more urgent legal or more precarious legal situation now. So it was kind of whiplashing for people to be like, that's him. Actually, no. Do focus on him. Like, actually do call your Congress people, call your representatives and advocate for that little boy. He's not at the Super Bowl. He's somewhere very dark and very decrepit. Let's take a little detour. I didn't watch a lot of the broadcast just because I actually don't give that much of a fuck about the Super Bowl. Like, I'm not a football person. I don't care that much about football. Shout out to the Patriots. They win the Super Bowl a lot. If I have a good memory, they win all the time. I don't know how they got to the Super Bowl. I don't know how the Seahawks got to the Super Bowl. The most invested I was in the actual game is this guy on TikTok who was like, he came on sweating, crying, shitting, pissing, throwing up. And he was like, I bet $33,000 that the Seahawks would win. God damn. But that was the most invested that I was, is that I wanted that guy to win his money. And then I wanted him to check in immediately to an addiction facility. I mean, obviously gambling addiction sounds kind of ridiculous as it goes. Like I think there's like nicotine, alcohol. No, there's like, you know what I mean? There's like crack, cocaine, meth, heroin, so on. Nicotine, alcoholism, something else, gambling addiction down here. And the only thing below gambling addiction maybe is sex addiction. Both of those things sound a little ridiculous, but gambling addiction as something that's like a crumb for real. Like, I've seen it like do the damage to people's lives and like ruin families, in particular, like, like men who have positioned themselves as like the financial center of a family and then gamble that money away or something like that, as it happens most often. I just like don't think this shit is funny. Why is every Super Bowl commercial either for Ozempic or for a fucking gambling app? You know what I mean? Guys, be honest. Be honest. GLP-1 daughter or DraftKings son? GLP-1 daughter or sports betting son? Like, honestly, the same layer of Dante's Inferno. That sucks. I'd hate that that's all of what, and like in crypto commercials and shit like that. Like, what the fuck? I saw a commercial of Mike Tyson who was like, these, fucking fudgy Americans. And what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? To see well-respected, high honor, legacy American athletes pushing weight loss supplements. And I understand that the GLP-1s in certain contexts are medication. You know that you're not selling it on a Super Bowl commercial as medication for like explicitly medical purposes. You know what I mean? For the diabetic purposes that GLP-1s serve or whatever the fuck, or for like medically necessary weight loss. Like, you're selling this as a fucking skinny pill. You know that's what you're fucking doing. And you're using this like kind of pseudo medical framing to like get away with it. It's bullshit. And it's weird as fuck. And what's also weird as fuck, look, you got to understand that that sports, that all gambling was outlawed, whatever the fuck, across America, except for in Nevada and in protected district, like protected places like reservations and things like that. That's why they have those casinos and reservations and casinos in Nevada and in little places in Jersey. But bit by bit, they've been lobbying away and chipping away at these pieces of legislation. And suddenly sports betting is something that exists on your phone again, bro. On your fucking phone. Mind you, this marketing, like sports betting used to be like a seedy, weird, like shifty thing to do. Now niggas do it on their lunch break. There's no way you should, and even if that's the case, even if that's true, even if like it shouldn't be fucking illegal because that's not the government's place, sure. But you should not be allowed to advertise the sports betting gambling apps at the sports venue and during the sports broadcast. That's fucking weird. That's disgusting. And it's honestly fucking pathetic of these like, respected athletes to use their platforms, to use their likeness and sell it that way. Are you fucking broke? Are you strapped for cash? What the fuck? That's literally despicable, bro. It's really like seedy and shifty. Every person that I see advertising for DraftKings, for FanDuels, I'm like, God damn. What a loser. Whatever the ad is, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's never clever. It's never cute. It's never what it's just like. It's like, I don't know. It's like seeing someone do an OnlyFans commercial. Like, what? Sure, people do that. Sure, people make money that way. Absolutely, sure. Like, I'm not saying that it's morally reprehensible and so on and so forth. But this type of like shameless promotion of it in a place where there are, sorry, I hate, now I sound like a fucking conservative, but children and families, you know what I mean? That I'm like worried that my baby cousin, I'm checking his phone to make sure that he doesn't have gambling apps on his phone, because that's how permeated it is specifically into online male spaces and online male culture. Nigga, I can't get away from a call sheet for a call sheet commercial. Now there's, what do they call it? Prediction markets. Do you think Zohran Mamdani is going to win the mayor fucking election? Do you think that Timothée Chalamet is going to win the Oscar? What is this shit? It's too much. It's way too much. It's incredibly predatory. It's grimy as shit. I feel bad for the people who dude, it's like, I don't know. The young men of America, isolated, lonely, borderline red pill, addicted to zins and addicted to sports betting. Like, holy shit, brother, stand up. You have to save your own life. They will throw you onto the fire if it keeps it going for a moment longer. Get up from out of there, brother. Sorry, that was like a soapbox. Sorry, but I just hate seeing all of that. It makes me sound puritanical. I don't give a fuck. Look, you go to the clubs, do a line, like get drunk, black out, fuck somebody. I don't care. I believe in people living, indulgently and debaucherously, and we need more of that type of grimy satisfaction, but I don't think that it should come from like these corporate demons. That's the part that I don't like. Artless, tasteless, like greedy, endless, bottomless greed seeping through the screen as you're watching an AI commercial during the Super Bowl. Enough. I feel like that was a really intense section, and I'm trying to think of a joke that I can end that off with, but I just think that section might not be funny. Maybe it just wasn't funny. Sorry. Okay, let's cut the time on that, because literally that was, what the fuck, 40? That was like at least 30 minutes of the show. Sorry. Let's move on. The next thing that I want to talk about is, guys, you know what else I'm sick of? This is going to be a really ranty episode, sorry. This is kind of woo spiritual in an anti-way. I'm actually sick of manifestation. I'm sick of the manifestation culture, the manifestation practices. I'm sick of the witchy woo-woo. Unless you're for real a witch. Unless you're for real a witch. Like, you really do that shit. Like, you burn shit. You know what I mean? Like, you cast spells. You make potions type shit. In which case, manifest me some money type shit. You know what I mean? Manifest me a Bugatti. Manifest me some more cats, a Bugatti. Manifest me paying my dad's house off. Manifest a long life for me and my loved ones. Do it if you can. But no. I'm talking about like civilian spirituality manifestation. I hate that. Hey, actually, I want to circle back. If you are a witch, don't manifest anything for me. Actually, just sorry. Don't for better or for worse, please I don't actually want to be in the spell at all. And I love you and I care about you if you're watching this. I just changed my mind. I actually don't, you know what I mean, I don't want to participate and I don't want to be involved. Love you though. And I'm wishing you all the best in yours. Let's just separate church, state, and coven. Okay. Anyway, for civilian spiritualists, I feel like every time I get on TikTok or on Instagram, it's people talking about how they're going to manifest the future for themselves. You have to manifest more confidence and manifest your dreams and visualize this and visualize that. And everything is about positive affirmations. And all of that is true. And none of it is work. Why is everyone manifesting money, but no one's manifesting a job? Some people might be manifesting a job, right? I feel like every time we talk about the visualizations, people visualize the product, but never the labor. And I feel like that's only halfway. And I'm like, why is everyone deluding themselves into believing that they can essentially do like a magical wish of the universe in order to materialize something in their lives? Stop with the manifestations. It's making you lazy. I do think that. I think that the manifestation culture is making people so passive. And I think the manifestation culture is making people so passive. It's encouraging people to like forfeit their agency in such helpless ways. It's annoying at this point. It's too much because the pendulum has fully swung and I'm feeling it start to swing back to the point where like, honestly, when we were thinking about, 2016 was so lit, 2016. One thing about 2016 is that it was rise and grind. That was maybe a little crazy, but also like thinking about like, I don't know, it was American, like young people, whatever. Like, I think young people should be that's just me. And we might not agree, but I think that young people should be ambitious. Like, if there's ever a time in your life where you want to do a kind of like a late night, like it should be in college, babe. But you over here manifesting good grades. Go study. What the fuck are you talking about? You manifested success. You got to go study. Here's the thing. There's a fine line, I think, between being a manifester and being a producer. And the difference is material, right? You got to think of this like Full Metal Alchemist. This is the law of equivalent exchange. If you haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist, this is an anime, and it's not My Hero Academia, and I'm recommending it to you. I probably talked about it so many times on here. But Full Metal Alchemist, truly, I watched it when I was 11. Fundamental part of my character and like my, you know, like this truly is like a piece of or a style of philosophy that they broke down into this like very fantastical, action-packed, sentimental, beautiful story about two brothers trying to save each other. But at the center of the magic system in Full Metal Alchemist, there's something called the law of equivalent exchange, which is that in this world you can do a thing called alchemy, which is, you can transform. So you can turn a pile of metal into a sword. But you can't turn grass into a sword because the relevant compounds in grass aren't the same as the relevant compounds and elements in a sword, right? So you can't turn nothing into something, and you can't turn two irrelevant things into each other, right? You can turn a slab of stone into a granite countertop or into a stone door, something like that. But all this to say that, like, what is it that you're willing to exchange in place of your manifestations? And that's what I think people are lacking. What is a producer? A producer is someone who closes the gap between vision and its material execution. You get me? You as a person, or all of us, me as well, something that I take pride on and that I have to practice every day, and that I think is fundamental to the life that I've constructed for myself, is that I'm always trying to close the gap between my vision and the material reality. And the only tool that I have to close that gap is my work and the labor and the sweat. To me, it's also like impulses, right? Closing the gap between your thoughts and your actions, between thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do this thing, and then just getting up and doing it until like your impulse becomes action immediately. Here, I think that people talk about impulse control as though impulse control is entirely made up of stopping and inhibiting yourself from doing things that you should not be doing. But to me, that's not all of what impulse control is. I went to school for acting, right? I studied acting for 4 years in Florida at the University of Florida. I got a BFA. I learned to dance, I learned to sing, I learned to write music, and I learned to act. And I think the thing that I do best of all of those things is act. And one thing about it is that they talk about impulses. Impulse is the language of acting. You have to take the dialogue or take the scene or take the whatever and find out what your ultimate objective is, and then use your impulses along the way to bring you closer and closer to that objective using the content inside the scene. So if my objective is, and Get Out, right? And Get Out, he's like, give me the keys, give me the keys. His objective is that he needs to get the fuck out of here, right? He has all of these tactics, all of these social tools, all of these like options and strategies that he can use to get himself from point A to point B in terms of his objective. And as an actor, it's almost like you have options on the table. Like, what am I going to grab? Which door am I going to go through? What are my impulses? My impulse right now tells me that I want to scream. My impulse tells me right now that I want to get louder. My impulse tells me right now that I want to push this guy. You know what I mean? What are you going to do to bring yourself closer to your objective? Now, here's the thing. There are impulses that bring you closer to what you need, and there are impulses that bring you further from what you need. Which ones are which? You find out in real time by which ones you choose and by experience, right? But the truth is that all of these things are coming up at once. And one thing that I appreciate about the time that I spent studying acting is that it made me neutralize my relationship to my impulses, that none of them are good, that none of them are bad. They are neutral, and it's about what I choose. So my intrusive thoughts don't make me a bad person. I observe them and I choose which one of these thoughts is going to serve me best. When I think people think about impulse control, it's about suppression. What if we thought about our impulses kind of like bending, like water bending, like air bending, like fire bending, like earth bending, and that instead of creating a dam that blocks all of this impulse flowing from inside of you, you actually create an aqueduct system. You actually create a system to like channel them to the places where they are most in service to you. That's also a type of impulse control, not suppression, but management as well. Your impulses serve you into action, which is more powerful than manifestation. That's the thing to me. I'm like, everyone's talking about manifestation, but no one's fucking doing anything. No one's doing anything. Hello? I think that's actually the kernel here that I found, is that I don't like the way that people talk about impulse. One, stop manifesting. I think it's making you lazy. But also two, this new proactivity. Take inventory of your impulses and form a healthy relationship in observing them, a neutral relationship in serving them even. Because impulse control isn't all about suppression. It's also about curation, management, selection, direction, conduction, so on and so forth. Let's cut that. Let's move on. You guys, I wanted to talk about the Olympics. There's no time, though. I just think shout out to Mongolia, shout out to China, shout out to IT Sherry, shout out to Haiti. There are some beautiful Olympic uniforms for the Winter Olympics happening right now. I don't even know where they're happening right now, Sweden or something like that. There are some beautiful uniforms designed by these countries and whoever the US was done by Ralph Lauren, and I think that they're nice and interesting. I mean, they're kind of exactly, what you expect. Canada has like this puffer jacket with this kind of like three-dimensional embroidered, like lifted Canadian maple leaf on the chest. And I actually think that it is really beautiful. I love it. But people seem to not like it. Every time I see someone bring it up, they are talking shit about it. I think it's so fly. Secondarily, Haiti has this very like historic painting, beautiful painting of Toussaint Louverture riding this very like red, very animated horse. They removed Toussaint Louverture from the painting and then applied, like printed the painting onto the skirt and the uniform for the Haitian team. So it's this really beautiful like contrast between the tropical foliage on the Haitian uniform and this horse and these vivid colors against like the white snow of the Winter Olympics. Very stunning. The US also printed an animal on their uniform. I think this was the US. I'm pretty sure. An eagle, a bald eagle flying through, and they just like printed it, and they did it in an ugly way. It's ugly. Some people like it. I think they like it in the same way that they like Haiti. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. That shit is ugly. Let's move on. Also, no. There was a Haitian skier that I saw who finished in like 64th in the speed skiing race. Not even close to a medal. And he still took a bow at the finish line, which I thought was that's Haitian as fuck. And you know what? I can't even look. I'm proud as fuck of it. I don't care that he lost. I'm glad that he was there. I'm like, Haiti's at the Winter Olympics. Where did they even practice? Where did they even practice? How did you even find out that you could ski, motherfucker? Where the fuck were you that you found out that you could ski? There's a story about Baby Doc, which was the inherited dictator of Haiti after his father, Papa Doc, passed away. This was in the 70s era, right? He had a wife. What was her name? Something Duvalier. And they were so wealthy from hoarding the wealth of Haiti that she literally in their palace had them build an ice chamber, like ice room, so that she could invite wealthy European women, wealthy European diplomatic wives and things, like celebrities and aristocrats. She could invite them into the palace specifically to have a place to wear their fur coats. And like, I'm like, for years, that was the coldest place in Haiti, was this artificial room that you created specifically to wear fur coats that you imported from other places with your rich friends. And they should have ate her, man. I'm not going to lie. Fuck that lady. Anyway, let's move on. Guys, we're all watching Traitors, yeah? Yeah, we're all watching Traitors. This season is interesting because I actually think that of all of the seasons I've watched of Traitors, this was maybe one of the most promising turrets we've ever seen. And it all just went to shit. I mean, mind you, here's the thing about Traitors. So in the beginning, we have Candace, we have Lisa, who are both housewives. And then we have Rob Roche from Love Island Season 6 USA. And as you guys know, I'm a Rob defender. I won't die on that hill, but I'll stand 7.5 toes down on that. That like, I think that what happened with Rob, in a couple of years, when we're able to watch that back more objectively, I think that people will be like, oh, he actually didn't do anything that crazy. A woman was upset with him because she went on Love Island and the guy that she liked another girl, and she couldn't cope with that, and then escalated it, and then he escalated in return. and then shit hit the fan and he jumped into a pool. But like, honestly, everybody has crazy receipts. I don't want to hear too much about the Love Island anymore, because I'm getting on TikTok, and now that Rob, if you're not following, just so that you know, right? Traitors is a game of mafia. They choose 3 mafia members to kill off a house full of celebrities, and the objective of the game is to not get caught by the rest of the house, the faithfuls, who are trying to accurately guess who the traitors are, who the mafia is, essentially, right? And every season, at some point, the traitors start to kind of cannibalize themselves, cannibalize their own team. And a lot of people think like, oh, it's always bad. It always sucks when the traitors turn on each other. Like, it always makes the show worse when they turn on each other so soon. Mind you, it's episode 8. There are only 3 round tables left. If they like, baby, party's over. They kind of turn the lights on. Like it's wrapping up. If they were going to turn on each other, this is actually a decent length into the series for them to have made it like together. You get me? Here's the thing. A couple of episodes ago, one of the traitors, Lisa, gets her name floated. It's very clear that she's circling the drain. She's about to go. They're about to catch her. So now there are 2 ways that the remaining 2 traitors can go. They can double down and try to defend her without implicating themselves as traitors, or they can go with the crowd and blend in, right? So that even if she gets eliminated, they don't implicate themselves. Rob chose to protect his own game. Candace, who is another housewife, chose to like stand behind this principle of loyalty on a show called Traitors, right? She chose to be loyal to Lisa, who was gonna go home anyway. Made this shit voted for Rob because she was upset that Rob was turning on Lisa because he wanted to blend into the crowd. And now this last episode, everyone was like, well, Candace, Lisa was a traitor. Why did you go out of your way not to vote for her? You voted for Rob, who all of us trust. So it makes you look suspicious now too. I mean, this lady, I think it's crazy because she went on the Bob the Drag Queen and Boston Rob Traitors podcast. These are 2 former Traitors TV show competitors. She went on their podcast, and it didn't seem like she had done any reflection in the months since they've recorded this. Like she was like, if I could go back, I would do everything the same. And Rob is a snake. He stabbed me in the back, and I've got something for him at the reunion. And it's like, baby, you just didn't play well. And it's giving like a really, really sore loser. And I'm watching people from, Traitors is kind of, dude, this shit is like the Fortnite of reality TV. You've got Housewives, Love Island people, Survivor veterans, Big Brother veterans, Amazing Race people, Iron Chef, Dancing with the Stars. You've got all of these reality TV properties, and some people who are just like otherwise celebrities, not even, actors, performers, so on and so forth, coming together in this house. I'm watching the people who aren't used to competition TV, Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race, so on and so forth, come into Traitors, which is a competition, and try to replicate the dynamics from their lifestyle reality TV shows. And it's not that. Like, they're trying to frame Rob as like a master manipulator, womanizer, like he's a misogynist because he eliminated 2 women who were playing the game poorly and actively trying to sabotage him. It's like, no one here is a victim. And that's the thing. I think it's so condescending when there are social dynamics inside of Traitors. There's a very racialized like dynamic where people are casting suspicion onto people of color most frequently. And people get on board with that very easily. It's like, why are you guys so quick to suspect people of color? Why are you so quick to suspect certain people over others, right? There's been a lot of shit this season that I'm like, I'm gonna call the NAACP on y'all. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, racism, prejudice, misogyny, patriarchy, all of those things come into the game. And also, I'm watching people take the last few interactions between Rob and Candace, who are adversaries on the show. Like on the last episode, which was a great episode of TV, I'm watching people take their last few interactions and be like, oh, Rob hates women. He's so manipulative. He's a gaslighter. And I'm like, dude, the show is called Traitors. It's the primary vehicle of the game is manipulation. And I actually think it's like a weird condescending deflection to be like, why is he lying on a show called Traitors? Why would he lie to someone who happens to be a woman? Yeah, well, Candace has also lied to many, many people. Like, she's literally walking around the house, looking people in the eyes that trust her and being like, "I promise I'm not a traitor." Why no one would ever think like everyone here is lying. Like, all of the parties that are relevant right now are lying, and I think that is actually really disingenuous, like really dishonest, to take Rob and be like, "No, but." Him playing the game and lying inside the context of the game and manipulating inside of the context of the game, that's actually a fundamental part of his character and his values. But for Candace, it's not. It actually just like, I don't know, maybe it's because I fuck with Survivor. It's like outplay, outwit, outlast. Do what you got to do to survive. If you got to cheat, cheat. If you got to steal someone's hidden immunity idol, that shit happens. Tough noodles. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is a competition. No one here, you trying to frame Candace, a grown woman who, again, after seeing her on the podcast, I'm like, she doesn't even seem like she can see where she might have went wrong. She's doubling down on all the choices that she made, and those are choices that got her eliminated. And she's trying to scapegoat Rob for being like, you threw me under the bus. Babe, you were already under the bus. They were already saying your name. They had been said your name type shit. To try to frame it as though this like grown woman who is a decades long veteran of a legacy TV franchise as a victim of this boy from Love Island in a show where they're competing for money. It's a competition. You're not a victim. We're competitors. And you're an equal to me in that sense. Why should I play against you differently than I would play against anyone else? You know, Candace is going into rooms. She's trying to spin votes against Rob. She's talking to people that she doesn't know Rob has in his pocket already. She goes to Steven and she's like, "Don't you think Rob is suspicious?" Rob walks in the room and Steven immediately turns to Rob and says, "Yeah, so apparently you're suspicious. Apparently your name's getting floated." He didn't even hesitate to tell Rob exactly what you just said because that's his boy. They're locked in. These people fuck with Rob because he's done the work to play as a faithful. Rob is playing one of the best games as a traitor that we've actually ever seen across this franchise. One of the best games we've seen across this franchise. And I think for people to be like, "Oh, he's only playing this way because he's pretty and he's beautiful and people can't see through his bullshit," or "He's only winning because he's a master manipulator, he's a bad guy, he's a misogynist." I actually think that it's an admission that these people don't have the range to actually see what he's doing well and what he's not. You're grasping at these very shallow, very accessible arguments that aren't even at the center of why he is so good, and he is so good. How is it that everyone in the house is stupid? They're like, "Oh yeah, all these people, Candace went home because all the faithfuls are dumb." Then why couldn't she manipulate them? If they're so dumb and she's so smart, then why did they all band it? Like, how did all of them get out of her grasp and out of her reach? Alan Cummings was just on Watch What Happens Live, and one of the people was like, "Who's the best trader of all time?" And he said, "Well, at least this season, it's Rob." I think Rob wins. I think Rob is going to win. Like, dead ass, I think Rob is going to win. And I think he deserves to win. And when they pull all-stars, I hope that nigga comes back with Sari. Yeah. And I hope that they're both on the same all-star season. Maybe one of them is a traitor. No, that would be too easy. This dude is forming alliances. You know, he's buying people's trust. He's planting information where it needs to be. He's reflecting information back to people. He's mirroring people's behavior to win their trust. He's fighting in the challenges, and all of that, everyone loves him, not because he's pretty. They say things like, "Rob is good at everything." Oh, if somebody has to go, I trust Rob. They respect this man. Yes, being beautiful and being white and being male and being all of that is helpful towards that. And also, like, being beautiful does not a social game make. You have to actually be social. It's tons of beautiful people in the castle left. These people work in an industry where everyone is beautiful. Rob is good at this game. I think there's a plague of sore loserism, and honestly, like, this is where I might actually lose you. I think that it's like a Bravoverse thing. I've lost so many of my own loved ones to the Bravoverse. You would not even fucking imagine. Like, I truly think the lifestyle genre of reality TV it breeds such a social disorder to, like, watch hours and hours of people in petty conflicts, micromanaging every social interaction and scraping them with a fine-tooth comb to find a transgression that they can use to escalate into a confrontation with their friends, with their family, with their whatever. Like every person I've ever met with poor conflict resolution skills, in the twinkle of their eye, you can see playback of a Watch What Happens Live episode. It's so bad. Like I did, like dead ass. I think that shit is bad for you. And anyway, I don't think it's good for anyone to be like objectiveless on reality TV. Like, what do you mean you're just like recording this show of your life for 10, 15 years at a time? There's no end date. There's no money at the end. Like when I see people on reality TV, I need to know that like you're here from this date to this date, and you're here for a reason, not just for the vibe, not just to capitalize on your likeness, so on and so forth. Because that, like, I'm capitalizing on my likeness, I'm capitalizing on my social, I'm capitalizing on my whatever. It breeds weirdness, and that's why you get like fucking housewives in the Trader's Castle, and this nigga's playing the game because they're playing the game, and that's the rules of the game, and they're like, how could you fucking lie to me? It makes for great TV, but. And now I'm like, oh, well, we can't turn that part of our brain off. What the fuck do you mean, Candace? To this day, you're mad at Rob because he played the game better than you. What do you mean you're mad that he lied to you in the lie to me game? It's the stabbing. The show is called Stabbing People in the Back. What? But let me tell you, this has been an incredible season. That entire last episode of Traders, I was shaking. And I'm watching Rob get away with it, like taking candy from a baby. I'm watching Candace get blindsided in an almost unanimous vote against her as a traitor because she's doing that poorly. She fumbled it that bad and somehow walked away and was like, it's all his fault. Come on, man. Incredible TV, though. Anyway. Hey, y'all. My name is Woodland, and this has been 10 at a time, the short long form show. This has not been a short long form show. This was 320s back to back to back. And for that, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for being here with me. I am going to see you next time, and I promise not to cry. I think it's a little awkward. Listen, anybody can cry. There's nothing wrong with crying, but crying on the internet, that's on my digital footprint now. It's going to be live forever. Unless we cut it from the edit, which I don't know. Anyway, if you want to see any more of me, including the pictures that I post from the brand trip that I'm going to go on someday, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at notwidlin, NOTWILDLIN. If you're on YouTube, it's actually the same spelling and the same name as my channel name. And I'm so excited to see you over there. You probably came from over there, but in case you didn't, or in case you forget, thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Be safe. Besos. Hoy se bebe, hoy se grata.